Hey everyone, this is Cactus, and today, we're diving into an intriguing fanfic scenario. What if Goku could rewrite the past? Disclaimer, the content on this channel is purely for entertainment and discussion. I don't own any anime footage or characters used in this video, all rights and credits belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Alright, let's jump in. He strolled down the street, a gentle breeze brushing against his skin, lifting his onyx hair as it swayed with the wind. His silver eyes surveyed the surroundings, his expression softened by memories. It had been some time since he visited this part of the world. The World Martial Arts Tournament has certainly transformed, he mused, grinning as he passed familiar sights. The traditional Japanese architecture was gone, replaced by a vast, silver-toned building made with high-grade materials to withstand even the fiercest fighter's attack. Reflecting on it, years had passed since he last entered a tournament. A contented sigh escaped him, recalling the countless moments spent within those grounds. Life had changed dramatically since those days. He discovered he wasn't just any Saiyan, his lifespan far exceeded that of his peers. While friends and family awaited the next life, he continued, still vigorous, even centuries after his last battles in the Universal Tournament. His final clash with Vegeta, an epic showdown that shook their universe, had ended in a tie, but only Goku remained. His old rival had gone to the afterlife, leaving Goku with only the memories. Time had passed, but Goku's vitality hadn't faded. He began to wonder if he would ever grow old or if eternal youth might be his fate. For now, he was unmatched, having long ago surpassed the training Whis provided, constantly honing his strength beyond mortal bounds. His hard work culminated in the mastery of Ultra Instinct, an achievement that took him far beyond any previous limits. His hair remained jet black but was now more pronounced, his eyes permanently silver, his physique perfectly balanced. He called this form the Omane blend of grace and raw power he attained through relentless training. Now, his base form was Ultra Instinct, and he wore a new look, a turquoise gi with a white obi, dark green pants, and black kung fu shoes paired with orange stockings. His aura shifted too, radiating a mesmerizing blend of silver, blue, and purple, reminiscent of the Super Saiyan God energy. Physical power wasn't his sole pursuit during his years on Earth. He invested time in developing his mind, mastering literacy, and exploring new interests. He even trained in multiple martial arts disciplines, including judo, kickboxing, and karate, becoming a true master of combat with a broader goal of safeguarding Earth. Despite his strength, Goku still held on to his pure-hearted approach, believing in the potential for good in everyone. Perhaps one day this trust would backfire, but old habits die hard. As he continued down the street, he glanced at his gi, feeling as though he had transformed, much like his attire. Yet, there was a sadness in his eyes, a longing for the friends he missed deeply. Their laughter, their companionship, the memories they shared lingered heavily. He clenched his fists, torn by an idea. Was it selfish to consider bending time, just once, to see them again? He dismissed the thought, knowing the consequences of altering time, yet his heart yearned. Channeling his ki, he let the energy build, closing his eyes and visualizing a distant era. As the atmosphere distorted, Goku felt himself transported to solid ground. Silver eyes scanning his surroundings, he grinned at the familiar sight before him, the Ox King's house. He had traveled back in time, to a place he knew well. Yet, a realization struck him: if he was in the past, then his past self might be here as well. He recalled his encounters with future Trunks and knew multiple versions could coexist in different timelines. He closed his eyes, sensing for his younger self's energy. After scanning thoroughly, he felt nothing. Strange, he thought, realizing he may have replaced his younger self upon arrival. Without further hesitation, he decided to head inside to help Chi-Chi. He owed her that much. "Hey, Chi-Chi. I'm home," he called cheerfully, his voice filled with anticipation. Within moments, Chi-Chi appeared, her face lighting up, until she noticed his transformation. "Goku. What? Your hair, your eyes. She stammered, bewildered. Goku mentally facepalmed, realizing this Chi-Chi hadn't yet seen his transformed state, nor knew he was an alien from a warrior race. "Well, Chi-Chi, there's something you should know. I'm an alien," he began, offering her a reassuring smile as he prepared to explain his remarkable journey. "Wait, what do you mean? You look as human as anyone could. It seems you've just spiked your hair a bit more, added colored contact lenses, and gained some extra muscle. That's not exactly alien-like, you know? Unless changing from your turtle hermit attire somehow makes you look otherworldly," she remarked, puzzled. How could her Goku be an alien? To her, it was all just aesthetics. Not that she minded, the added spikes suited him, especially those mesmerizing eyes. A bead of sweat slipped down Goku's forehead. While her words made sense, they seemed to dismiss the immense effort, pain, and pride behind his transformation. Was he really just a human with style upgrades? How strange. Chi-Chi, he said, his tone unusually serious. I think I need to explain this in more detail. Can we sit on the couch? Receiving a nod, he led her over, wrapping his toned arm around her as they sat. She felt her face heat up. Goku wasn't usually one for physical displays of affection, and she wasn't used to him being this close so casually. What's gotten into him? I kind of like it, she thought, giggling as her fingers traced his muscled chest, partly visible through his gi. Goku chuckled, then began his story. Where do I start? Well, Chi-Chi, I'm a Saiyan. I was born on a distant planet called Vegeta and sent here in a spaceship when I was a baby. My mission was to conquer Earth, but over time. As Goku shared his origins, a lone Saiyan spacecraft entered Earth's atmosphere. Inside, a warrior clenched his fists. Let's hope you didn't disgrace our race, Kakarot, he thought as he began his descent. You had one job, conquer one planet. Goku finished his explanation, exhaling deeply as he gauged Chi-Chi's reaction, hoping it wouldn't change her feelings toward him. Admitting he was an alien sent to conquer planets was no small revelation, and he feared it might affect their relationship. I don't care if you're an alien, Goku. I love you. We have Gohan, a beautiful son who can grow up to do incredible things, like become a scholar. Maybe even a doctor or professor. Goku laughed at her enthusiasm, feeling warmth spread through him. However, a part of him felt conflicted. He wanted to train Gohan to defend Earth. He knew his own lifespan might end abruptly, and he needed someone to protect their world when that time came. But those thoughts could wait. For now, he sensed a familiar presence approaching. So, Raditz had arrived already? Goku had hoped to change Raditz's outlook, as he had with Vegeta. Maybe he could convince Raditz to see things differently. After all, they were family. Turning to Chi-Chi, Goku smiled. That sounds like a great idea, honey. But first, I'm taking Gohan to Master Roshi's, alright? He placed a gentle hand on her cheek, his warm smile making her blush. She wasn't sure what had come over him. Goku leaned in, brushing his lips against hers as they both closed their eyes, pouring every feeling, longing, love, joy, into that kiss. When they parted, Goku's grin grew, and Chi-Chi touched her lips, a blush coloring her cheeks. I love you, Chi-Chi, he whispered, his gaze filled with tenderness. She knew then that their love was real and enduring, no matter what he had revealed. I love you too, she replied, a tear escaping as she held his gaze. She felt complete, knowing they would face any challenge together. With one last loving glance, Goku flew off, a weight lifted from his shoulders. As he soared through the skies, he searched for Gohan's energy signature. The closer he got, the more he noticed a body of water below. Memories of future events felt hazy, and a pang of concern hit him. Why was Gohan here? His thoughts broke when he spotted his son clinging to a log drifting down a stream, nearing a waterfall. Daddy, help me, please, Gohan cried out, clinging to the log with all his strength. Just as he was about to reach the edge, he felt strong arms lift him. Gohan looked up to see Goku's familiar face, and relief washed over him as he hugged his father tightly. Whoa, hey there, Gohan. Were you scared? Goku asked, patting his head. Gohan sniffled, then started recounting his adventure with a bird, the water, and the log. Goku couldn't help but laugh. His son, who would one day become one of Earth's strongest warriors, was still just a child. As they settled, Gohan curiously touched his father's hair. Daddy, you look so different. Why is that? Goku chuckled at his son's innocent question. I'll explain it all someday, son. But for now, how about we go visit my old teacher? Gohan cheered, and with that, Goku flew towards Kame House, ready to share his story with those closest to him. On a tranquil beach surrounded by the vast ocean, Goku gently set Gohan down, who clung tightly to his father's hand, likely feeling apprehensive about meeting new people. Goku gave him a reassuring squeeze, understanding his son's nervousness, and then knocked on the green door. The sound stirred a few surprised gasps before three figures appeared in the doorway. Goku greeted them with a wave, which they returned with grins. Hey, Goku. It's been a while, buddy. Did you do something different with your hair? And no turtle hermit uniform today? Looks like Yamcha and I will be going it alone. A short, bald man exclaimed, thrilled to see his lifelong friend. Goku waved back at Krillin with a sheepish laugh. I think he looks great. He's definitely making a fashion statement, chimed a woman with blue hair, her eyes twinkling with admiration. She took in Goku's turquoise attire and noted his striking silver eyes. Those eyes. Are they contacts? They look incredible. She fought back a blush, noticing his toned physique and the peak of his well-defined muscles. Clearly, Goku had been training hard as always. An older man wearing sunglasses spoke next, his voice curious. I don't mind the new look, Goku. It's been ages since you surpassed me. It seems you've even grown a bit taller, and you're clearly stronger. But, Goku, who's the young one by your side? He asked, noticing how Goku's eyes softened at the question. Well, this is my son, Gohan. Don't be shy, son, say hello. Goku encouraged. Gohan, cheeks turning pink, managed a shy, hello, while glancing at the ground. Bulma walked up, crouching to his level, and patted his head, noticing the Dragon Ball emblem on his red hat. Just then, Gohan's attention shifted to a turtle nearby, and he ran over to play with it, making everyone smile at his delight. So, what's with the new look, Goku? Krillin asked, amused. It's not like you to switch up from your usual gi and darker eyes, Goku chuckled, a silver gleam in his gaze. Well, it's kind of a long story, he began, drawing his friends in. I found out that I'm not exactly from here. I'm from a race called Scions. My grandpa Gohan found me as a baby, and apparently, my original mission was, well, not a good one. As fate would have it, I had an accident as a kid and forgot my mission entirely. I became a happier person because of the way Grandpa raised me. He continued, my appearance changed because of something called Ultra Instinct, a state that requires complete focus and dedication. Usually, only gods or angels can achieve it, but I've trained enough to gain control. This form has merged with who I am now, it's altered my very being. Not that I like the term God. Titles don't mean much to me. His friends were captivated, though he held back certain details, knowing some things had to remain secret. That explains Gohan's tale, but Goku, Krillin ventured, you guys don't have trouble during full moons, right? Goku chuckled. No worries. Chi-Chi makes sure we get plenty of sleep so Gohan can focus on his studies. But I'm planning to train him to protect himself. You never know when another threat might appear. Goku's friends nodded in agreement, and Bulma's interest peaked. So, what does he want to be when he's older? She asked. Goku touched his chin thoughtfully. He wants to be a scholar, he gets that from Chi-Chi. But speaking of threats. He frowned and turned his gaze toward an approaching presence. Moments later, a man clad in brown and black battle armor landed on the beach before them. Gohan instinctively ran to Goku's side, clutching his hand for reassurance. It's all right, Gohan. Go stay by Bulma, Goku said gently, nodding at Bulma to lead him safely away. She did so, comforting the boy as he watched his father confront the visitor. Goku's eyes narrowed at the man who scowled in response. Meanwhile, Krillin, irritated by the intruder, spoke up. All right, buddy. Don't know who you are, but maybe you're lost. You should move along, he said, waving him away. But the man, named Raditz, merely smirked, scanning Krillin's power level with a scouter before swatting him aside with his tail, sending him crashing against the house. Raditz turned to Goku. Enough games, Kakarot. Why haven't you completed your mission to eliminate all life here? And what's with this new appearance? Did these humans do this to you? You're a disgrace to our kind. He barked. Goku responded firmly. I'd rather be a disgrace if it means choosing compassion over senseless destruction. Join me, Raditz, together, we can protect this world. Raditz paused, but the thought of betrayal was quickly dismissed. His life would be at risk if Vegeta or Frieza discovered such disloyalty. As appealing as that sounds, Kakarot, your power is laughable. How would you even dream of challenging the ruler of the universe? Raditz mocked, but his confidence wavered when Goku calmly severed his tail, incinerating it in his hand. Raditz stared in disbelief. How? How did you do that? You let your guard down, Goku replied with a grin. Now, if you don't mind, we can skip the power display. My new abilities are the result of intense training, not interference from the people here. Goku shifted into a fighting stance, his conviction unwavering. Raditz sneered, but Goku remained resolute. I'm happy with the life I have here. I don't care for conquest or power. Maybe someday, you'll understand. Raditz scoffed, but as Goku prepared to defend, he sensed Raditz's curiosity piqued by the mention of the Dragon Balls. Goku smirked. You didn't come for those wish-granting orbs, huh? Guess I should feel honored. This reference to the Dragon Balls would, Goku knew, reach Nappa and Vegeta, enticing them to Earth for future confrontations. Raditz dismissed his curiosity, though Goku struck before he could react, leaving him momentarily stunned. His mind was reeling, yet Goku was resolute. This battle was about more than power, it was about protecting what he cherished. "I'm sorry, but I just couldn't help it. You left yourself open again," Goku teased, shaking his head with a smile. "You've really got to stay alert, brother, or I'll keep getting the better of you." The long-haired man sighed, brushing sand off himself as he stood. Around them, Goku's friends were cheering enthusiastically. "Yeah. Show him what you've got, Goku," shouted the short, bald man, clearly enjoying the friendly match. "Go, Goku. You're amazing," added the blue-haired woman, clapping from the sidelines. Master Roshi watched quietly, his mind racing as he admired Goku's skill. Incredible. He's even stronger than he was before. What kind of training has he been doing? Roshi thought, smiling with pride. Raditz took a deep breath, watching his younger brother thoughtfully. How had this low-class Saiyan, who started out with little power, grown to be so skilled? Goku gave him a patient smile, gesturing him forward with encouragement. "Come on, Raditz. You've got a lot of strength. Use it to help protect this planet. Together, we could make a difference," Goku said warmly, holding out his hand. Raditz hesitated, surprised by Goku's words. Slowly, he reached out, only to pause, a bit unsure. Goku's eyes stayed calm and kind, and Raditz felt something begin to shift inside him. "You don't have to be alone, Raditz. You're not just a fighter. We could protect the people here and use our strength for good." Raditz blinked, considering his brother's words. Could this really be possible? "Do you really mean that?" he asked, his voice softer. Goku grinned in his usual way, giving Raditz a reassuring nod. "Absolutely. There's so much more to life when you help others. And together, we could be an amazing team." Raditz took a deep breath, looking around at the cheering friends who believed in Goku so strongly. Smiling for the first time in a long while, he nodded and put his arm around his brother's shoulder. "All right, Kakarot. I'm with you," Raditz said with a smile. "Good choice, Raditz. I'm glad you're with us." Goku patted him on the back and gestured toward Kame House, with Raditz by his side. As they walked, Raditz looked over at Goku thoughtfully. "There's something important I should tell you," he said, his voice serious but hopeful. "Well, if it's something we all need to know, let's share it with the group," Goku replied, leading the way toward Kame House. "How much is this one?" a cloaked figure inquired of his companion, gesturing towards a flyer pinned to the board. His equally cloaked companion raised his eyebrows, visibly astonished. "It's hard to pinpoint the exact amount of Zen offered, the reward seems to be growing by the second," he replied, glancing at his lifelong friend just as a smirk formed on his friend's face. "We'll take it. This looks like a bounty worth pursuing," the man said, folding the flyer and tucking it securely into his pocket. His companion nodded in agreement. "You're right. At this rate, the reward will make us wealthy beyond our dreams. I mean, who would be reckless enough to travel back in time and alter history?" he asked with a chuckle. The smirk on his friend's face broadened at the thought, finding the situation both intriguing and humorous. "Apparently, it's someone bold, or foolish, enough. A man named Son Goku, from Universe 7, or so the flyer claims." He drew a silver sword, holding it out in his palm and honing its edge with a dark aura surrounding his hand. His companion clenched his fist, excitement lighting up his face in a wide grin. "This guy won't know what hit him," he exclaimed, receiving an enthusiastic nod from the other cloaked figure. "Let's get moving," he said, striding off. His companion, momentarily left behind, muttered with a hint of irritation, "Don't tell me what to do," before following in pursuit. This was what they lived for. They were known as the Hunters of Time, renowned for pursuing and neutralizing those who dared defy time itself. This job would indeed yield a significant reward. Anticipation filled the air as everyone watched two scions approach, their expressions mixed with confusion. What had just transpired? Moments ago, they had seen Goku fiercely pummel his opponent into the ground, yet now they walked together as if the fight had never happened. Only Raditz's labored breaths revealed the intensity of the blows he had endured. Goku gazed at the onlookers, his silver eyes conveying something beyond their understanding. Was he signaling that he trusted this newfound ally? "Hey, everyone. Raditz here has something important to say, so let's listen up. Piccolo, you too, come join us," Goku called out. At the mention of Piccolo's name, the group collectively turned, astonished. There he stood, white cape billowing in the breeze, arms crossed, observing them from the rooftop of Kame House before he leapt down to join them. Piccolo smirked at Goku, who returned the gesture. "How long have you known I was here?" Piccolo inquired, receiving a casual snort from Goku. "I don't know, how long have you been watching us?" "Since you and your brother started your insufferable pre-battle banter," Goku chuckled, looking Piccolo directly in the eyes, his silver gaze carrying a playful glint. "Well then, that long, I suppose. Let's focus, this is important." Piccolo said nothing, his attention now on Raditz, who spoke next. "There are 2 other scions, far stronger than I am. They're likely to arrive here within a year," Raditz stated, his tone somber as he looked down. The revelation sent a shock through the gathered group, most of whom clenched their fists at the news, while Gohan simply looked perplexed. Goku sighed, turning to his companions. "Looks like we have training to do. Piccolo, would you consider training Gohan to prepare him for the Scions?" His request stunned everyone. What was he thinking? "Goku. Are you serious? This is Piccolo you're talking to, have you lost it?" Krillin objected, visibly unsettled. Goku merely chuckled. "Relax. Gohan's got a lot of potential. He'll be amazing," Goku said, smiling. Piccolo scoffed. "Why would you think that I, the great demon Piccolo, would train your son?" "Perhaps you are out of your mind," Piccolo retorted, disinterested. Goku, undeterred, smirked again, challenging him with a determined look. "What's wrong, Piccolo? Not up for the challenge? Perhaps you've gone soft." Piccolo's eyes narrowed, a smirk slowly forming. "Fine. I'll train him, but don't come blaming me if things go sideways. Whatever happens is on you," he said, his chuckle dark and menacing. Goku merely shook his head with a grin. "Trust me, he can handle whatever you throw at him." He returned Piccolo's smirk, but before he could say more, Bulma pulled him aside, her expression tense. "Goku, are you sure about this? You're letting someone who tried to conquer the world train Gohan," she whispered anxiously, though Piccolo's knowing smirk suggested he overheard. Goku placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry. I'll step in if things go too far. But Gohan needs this training, he needs to toughen up," he assured her. With a resigned sigh, Bulma relented, leaving Goku to rejoin the group. "All right, everyone, let's start preparing. We have 1 year. Krillin, can you spread the word about the impending threat?" Goku asked, turning to his friend. "Of course, Goku," Krillin responded before flying off to alert the others. Goku smiled and looked back at those who remained. "Raditz, you're with me, I've got something specific in mind. Piccolo, you know your role. And Gohan." The onyx-haired Saiyan knelt beside his son, patting him on the head as Gohan gazed up, visibly anxious. "Stay strong, all right? No matter what happens, stay brave. I'll see you soon," Goku said, pressing 2 fingers to his forehead, casting a gentle look toward Gohan. Raditz placed his hand on the Saiyan's shoulder, ready for the journey. "Goodbye, everyone. Work hard," Goku said, and with that, he and Raditz vanished from the island. Piccolo stared at the spot where they had stood before turning to Gohan with a stern expression. "Come on, kid. You're coming with me," Piccolo growled, grabbing the back of Gohan's shirt. Bulma gasped, and Master Roshi's face grew serious. "Hey! Take it easy with him," she protested as Piccolo huffed dismissively. "Quiet. You heard Goku, I'll do whatever it takes. When I'm done, you won't even recognize this kid," Piccolo sneered, spitting on the sand before flying off, a tearful Gohan beside him. Meanwhile, a stout blue figure stood on his planet, sensing a powerful energy approaching. He stepped outside, watching the 2 arrivals with quiet anticipation. "What are we doing here, Kakarot?" Raditz asked, surveying the small planet with its neatly kept grass, a red car parked on a white-tiled road, and scattered trees. The familiar heaviness in the air reminded him of home, a stark contrast to Earth's lighter atmosphere. Goku smirked, looking around King Kai's planet with nostalgia. "We're here to train you, to make you strong enough to face the Scions heading to Earth. Plus, I wanted you to meet my friend," he said, nodding toward the blue Kai standing nearby, who seemed calm on the surface but, to Goku, looked tense. Goku waved. "Hey, King Kai. Think you could train my brother here? He's a bit rough around the edges." He motioned toward Raditz. King Kai, his expression unreadable behind dark glasses, scrutinized them both. The one with the long hair wouldn't be much trouble, King Kai thought. But this other Saiyan. His strength is beyond measure. He seems friendly, but anyone can hide behind a smile. Goku approached with a hand outstretched, inviting a handshake. Come on, King Kai, I don't bite, he said with a smile. King Kai hesitated before reaching out and shaking Goku's hand. Suddenly, a wave of memories flooded King Kai's mind: Goku's first arrival on his planet, the Saiyan training, the Namek battles, becoming a Super Saiyan, even mastering Ultra Instinct. A lifetime of experiences poured in. Stumbling back, King Kai breathed heavily, overwhelmed by the memories. "Gee Goku. Why you're," King Kai stammered before embracing his old friend, nearly knocking him off balance. "It's good to be back, my friend," Goku said, his grin contagious. Raditz watched the reunion, reluctant to intrude. "Amazing. You're even stronger than before. Bet you've got some good jokes for me now, huh?" King Kai laughed, then turned to Raditz with a more serious look. "Alright, since you're Goku's brother, I'll train you. But first, you have to tell me a good joke." "No joke, no training. Deal?" Raditz scowled. "A joke? Really? You think I'm just going to humor you, Blue Man?" He rushed forward, aiming a punch, but King Kai's fist met his abdomen first, knocking the wind out of him. Raditz collapsed, gasping, while King Kai smiled. "Now, I might not look it, but I'm a martial arts master." Raditz heaved himself up, conceding. "Fine. I'll tell you a joke, Bug Man." He thought for a moment, trying to muster a decent quip. "Alright, here's one. It's a joke about glasses, but you'll need 4 eyes to get it." King Kai kept a stony face, but Raditz could hear him stifling a giggle. Sensing an opening, he continued, "I'm just saying." The pun was too much. King Kai burst into laughter, practically rolling. Raditz stole a glance at Goku, who gave him an approving smile. Reluctantly, Raditz had won his training, by telling jokes of all things. How absurd, he thought, yet somehow worth it. Once King Kai had regained his composure, he approached the ebony-haired Saiyan. "Now that we have settled that matter, we can commence your training. The Scions are scheduled to arrive in a year, so we have considerable work ahead of us. Goku will outline our preparation strategy." Goku stepped forward and gave Raditz a reassuring pat on the shoulder. "I'll be training alongside you, so you won't be alone in this endeavor. However, before we begin, we need to update your attire. That armor is cumbersome, and you'll require more freedom of movement during training. I understand your pride in your Saiyan armor, but this is non-negotiable. You can accept it or decline." Raditz paused to contemplate before acquiescing. He figured he could wear his armor once the training was concluded. After all, he was a Saiyan, and he would surely excel. In an instant, his clothes were replaced with garments similar to Goku's but in shades of brown. Goku's orange wristbands and stockings were swapped for black and brown boots, brown gauntlets, and red armbands. Raditz's eyes widened with confusion, disbelief, and fury. "What happened to my armor, Kakarot? I demand to know," Goku chuckled, recognizing the predictable reaction. "I provided you with training clothes. I materialized them using my ki. Don't fret, I'll return your armor once we finish. Understand?" Raditz calmed slightly after this explanation, his anger dissipating. Goku smiled and manifested a pair of orange wrist and ankle weights for Raditz. As soon as Raditz donned the weights, he collapsed under their heft. What the? They're weights," Goku explained. "These are ki absorbent. As you use your ki, it gets absorbed, increasing the weight's heaviness. While wearing these, you'll be continually lifting greater resistance as your power grows. We'll remove the weights every 2 weeks for sparring, allowing us to adjust to our enhanced speeds. If we don't, our eyes won't keep pace with our body's movements, which would be detrimental in battle." Raditz nodded, acknowledging the logic behind Goku's reasoning. He struggled to rise, gasping for air once he managed to do so. The weights were indeed formidable. Goku observed Raditz's effort with approval. "Excellent. While you're wearing those weights, I want you to complete 50 laps around this planet. I have other matters to attend to at the moment. I'll check in on you later." King Kai watched as Raditz struggled to walk, contemplating how long it might take for him to match Goku's strength. With this new training regimen, it wouldn't be long, he surmised. "See you." Goku flashed a peace sign and teleported back to Earth. Capsule Corp. Goku materialized in Bulma's laboratory, where she was engrossed in her work on a device. She had changed her hairstyle again, returning to a long ponytail. Wiping the sweat from her brow, she tinkered with a small apparatus featuring a compartment. Next to her, a vial containing a green liquid rested on the table. Goku grinned and stood behind her. "Hey, Bulma," he greeted, eliciting a surprised eep. From her. Goku laughed as she turned around and playfully punched him in the chest. That's not funny, Goku. I was diligently working on a new device. If it had exploded and caught fire, you'd be responsible for the damage to my lab and my hair, she sighed, wiping her forehead again. Goku chuckled and pinched her cheek. I think I could handle that. Besides, you look like you could use a distraction, Goku said as he settled beside her, peering at the green liquid in the vial. Bulma smiled softly, placing her tools down. I suppose you're right. I've been immersed in this project. But before I explain, how did you get in here? My security monitors didn't detect your presence. Goku shrugged. I can teleport. I mastered the technique some time ago. I think you witnessed it back on Master Roshi's island. He swirled the vial, noting the thickness of its contents. Bulma raised an eyebrow, recalling that he had indeed teleported on the island. Teleportation? That seemed like a useful skill. So you can teleport, huh? If I asked you to take me shopping, you could just poof in and out like that? She snapped her fingers to emphasize her question. Goku chuckled. Essentially, but that would be a misuse of the technique, don't you think? I don't want to be your teleporting taxi, Bulma. Bulma pouted, and Goku grinned, patting her head reassuringly. Then a thought struck him. Actually, if you tell me what you're working on, I might reconsider. He raised his eyebrows playfully, making the blue-haired woman giggle. Alright, so I know you have a big appetite, and senzu beans can fill you up quickly. I'm working on a device that dispenses foods infused with the senzu bean extract in that vial. It would make things much easier for your wife, that's for sure, if I can get it to work. Goku smiled, genuinely impressed by Bulma's ingenuity. How are you so brilliant? She asked, grinning with pride. Not to brag, but I believe I'm a genius too, at least compared to my father, who is renowned worldwide for his intellect. It seems to run in the family, she replied, her haughtiness evident. Goku chuckled. It's not that. It's just that every time I see you, I'm reminded of how much you amaze me. He complimented her, causing a rosy hue to bloom on her cheeks. What's gotten into you? It's just me. Besides, I wouldn't be this smart without the experiences our adventures brought me. Goku shook his head. That's simply not true. I believe you would be brilliant no matter the circumstances, always. Bulma blushed again, the warmth deepening in her cheeks. I can't imagine life without you, Goku, she thought, overwhelmed. Goku smiled softly, revealing a hint of his pearly white teeth. Yeah, I feel the same way, Bulma. He gently caressed her face, causing her eyes to widen, her face flushing bright red. Well. I need to get back to work. Thanks for stopping by, Goku. Talk to you later, she exclaimed, hastily exiting the room. Goku raised an eyebrow, bemused, before teleporting away. That was peculiar. In the bathroom, Bulma took deep breaths, trying to steady her racing heart. She couldn't believe she had voiced her thoughts like that. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Inhale, exhale, slowly. Once she regained her composure, she returned to her laboratory, her heart sinking when she realized Goku was no longer there. What a shame. Yet, there was no time for lingering thoughts, she had work to complete. Rocky Mountains. Goku appeared right behind a figure cloaked in white, who stood with his green arms crossed, watching over a tired young Gohan. So, how's he doing? Goku asked, surprising Piccolo, though he didn't show it. Instead, Piccolo humphed and pointed to an open area nearby. It's disappointing to see your own child struggle like this, Piccolo remarked as he observed Gohan trying to climb a tree to reach an apple. The young boy fell from the tree, landing on the ground and beginning to cry. He'll mature soon. Just give him time, he's still young. Besides, who better to teach him than you? Goku said with a grin, which seemed to annoy the green figure, though he remained silent. A question lingered in his mind. Why are you here? Don't tell me you just came to check on your child's progress, because he doesn't seem ready. Goku's grin widened, confirming Piccolo's suspicion. Pretty much. I don't have much else to do. But keep up the good work, he'll surprise you and might even give you a good challenge someday. Just take care of him in your own special way. Oh, I will. But don't blame me if he struggles, it was your choice to leave him with me, Piccolo replied with a smirk, turning to face Goku, only to find he had vanished, leaving behind only a cheerful laugh. You've really changed, haven't you? He muttered with a growing smile. King Kai's planet. Goku returned to find Raditz still running laps around the planet. He smiled at King Kai, who was watching the Saiyan with pride. So, how many laps has he completed? Surprisingly, 36. He's really giving it his all, King Kai chuckled, watching as Raditz, out of breath but determined, continued his training. He didn't even notice Goku's return. "Yeah, he's doing well. I can't wait to see his progress after all this training," Goku said, conjuring some weights for himself. King Kai smiled as Goku started his own laps. "Progress seems to follow you everywhere, Goku," King Kai said with satisfaction. 1 year later. The year had been eventful for everyone training to prepare for the Saiyans. Gohan had grown and now challenged Piccolo to a near stalemate. Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien had overcome their fears and made significant improvements too. Goku made it a point to check in on everyone throughout the year, assisting Bulma with her inventions, helping his wife Chi-Chi at home, and reassuring Gohan about his training. He also sparred with Piccolo regularly and supervised Raditz's training alongside King Kai. "Alright, Raditz, we're taking off the weights. The Saiyans are supposed to arrive in 3 days, so we'll spar today and rest for the next 2, Goku said as he removed the weights from Raditz. Goku kept his own on for an extra challenge. "Ready?" Goku asked while stretching. "Always," Raditz replied with a smirk. Goku motioned for him to come forward. Raditz charged at Goku, launching a purple ki blast. Goku sidestepped and caught Raditz's punch, but Raditz quickly attempted a kick. Goku jumped over it and delivered a knee to Raditz's face, causing him to stumble back. Goku countered with a blue ki blast that Raditz deflected. Goku, anticipating this, redirected the energy back at Raditz, singeing his clothing. Despite the weight challenge, Goku maintained the upper hand, but Raditz was certainly stronger than when he first arrived. Whiplash Wednesday, Raditz shouted as he shot a yellow beam at Goku, who dodged just in time, narrowly avoiding a powerful kick. Goku grabbed Raditz's leg and tossed him across the landscape. Raditz rolled to recover but found himself in an empty space surrounded by trees and grass. Where had Goku gone? Suddenly, he felt a kick to his knee and an elbow to his back, followed by Goku's arm wrapping around his neck in a chokehold. Raditz struggled to breathe, but Goku loosened his grip just before slamming him into the ground, creating a sizable dent. Looking up at his brother, Raditz noticed Goku smiling. "You know, despite the tough time you had today, I can see you've improved. I'm proud of you." Raditz hesitated, flinching at Goku's outstretched hand. "Are you okay?" "I'm not going to hurt you," Goku assured him. Goku recalled their first encounter. Raditz had been fearful. It all made sense now. Raditz had shied away from challenges, preventing him from growing stronger. "It's normal to feel afraid, even someone as strong as me," Goku continued. "But there's a difference between being scared and being a coward. A coward runs away when faced with fear, while someone brave stands up to it. You need to fight, not flee, especially against Vegeta. Show him that strength comes from anyone, not just the elite." Raditz looked up with a grimace, avoiding Goku's hand as he stood on his own. "It's not easy, Kakarot. Running away is all I know. Facing someone like Prince Vegeta is intimidating." "Don't say that," Goku interrupted, punching Raditz's stomach lightly. "I was once weak too, but I didn't let that stop me. You have to believe in yourself. Let me help you become the warrior you can be." Goku held out his hand once more. Raditz contemplated his options, to run away or to stand and fight for his honor. The choice was challenging, but clear. It was time to fight. Raditz grasped Goku's hand, standing up straight and brushing off the dirt. "You better be ready, Kakarot. You'll need to do better to defeat me this time." Goku chuckled as he placed glowing hands on Raditz's shoulders, healing him. Says the one with wounds. With renewed determination, they prepared for their next challenge. 2 days later. A pair of sleek ships crash-landed on Earth. As the doors opened, 2 figures emerged, one short and one tall, each wearing confident smirks. "Let's go, Nappa. It's time we made our presence known," said the taller figure. The moment had finally arrived. Goku and Raditz stood on the lush, verdant landscape of King Kai's planet, filled with anticipation. Goku turned to Raditz, a smile spreading across his face. "How are you feeling? Are you ready for this?" Raditz responded with a confident smirk. "After the training you've put me through, Kakarot, I'm more than ready. I plan to defeat them decisively." Goku chuckled, pleased by Raditz's confidence, and looked toward King Kai, who nodded in approval. Goku approached him, his demeanor calm and relaxed. He placed a hand on King Kai's shoulder, a gentle smile on his face. "Thank you for everything, my old friend. Even though we're facing a familiar situation, I'm determined to create more memories together." King Kai chuckled in response. "Indeed, but I have reservations about this time travel endeavor. I understand your reasons, yet the consequences are unpredictable. You realize they will be seeking you out, right? King Kai's expression turned serious at the mention of time travel. Goku recognized the gravity of his actions. He was aware that he would face repercussions for violating universal laws, yet his resolve remained unshaken. He was determined to reunite with those he cherished, no matter the obstacles. I understand, and I've considered that, Goku sighed. But my decision is made. He noticed King Kai's concerned expression and laughed, giving his shoulder a reassuring pat. Don't look so worried, King Kai. That frown doesn't suit you. Well, actually. It seems to be your usual demeanor, doesn't it? Goku's infectious grin made King Kai mirror it with a sigh. No matter how much you grow, you always remain the same, don't you? Just be cautious out there, Goku. Goku nodded firmly and turned to Raditz. Shall we get going? Raditz nodded and was about to place a hand on Goku's shoulder when he paused, deep in thought. With a sigh, he walked over to King Kai and acknowledged him. Thank you for your guidance during our training, King Kai. King Kai smirked in response. Just ensure you don't end up on the losing side. That will be your way of showing gratitude. Raditz shot him a playful smirk before returning to Goku. Goku flashed a peace sign to his mentor before using those fingers to teleport. Sun residence. Before we join the others, I'd like to check in on my wife first. I won't be long, okay? Raditz nodded, crossing his arms. Just make it quick, you sentimental fool. Goku chuckled sheepishly as he opened the door to find Chi-Chi in the kitchen, busy packing lunch bags. Hey Chi-Chi. What's happening? Chi-Chi turned with a smile, walking up to him and giving him a passionate kiss. What's happening is that I'm preparing lunch for everyone before you face those Saiyan challengers. Bulma finally perfected the senzu bean formula and my special meatloaf, so she wanted me to test it today. I made sure to pack you and Gohan 2 servings, knowing how much you both eat, she said sweetly, handing Goku 2 bags labeled with their names. Goku beamed at her, his affection evident in his gaze. You've been busy. But you didn't have to do this alone, I would have gladly helped. Chi-Chi shook her head, a subtle smile playing on her lips. No way, Jose. I wanted you and your dear brother to relax so you could give it your all today. But in the future, you can definitely assist me with something more special. She glanced down suggestively, and Goku chuckled. Next time, my dear. But, thank you, I truly appreciate this. Chi-Chi kissed him softly once more, her eyelashes fluttering. You're welcome, anything for my hero, she purred, sending a thrill of excitement down Goku's spine. Let's continue this when I return. I love you, Chi-Chi. Her smile brightened at his words, eager for his return. I love you too. He gave her a quick kiss and packed the lunch bags into a large bag that he conjured. She stepped back in surprise but quickly laughed, recognizing his antics. Goku exited the house, glancing back at his wife, who had transformed significantly over the past year. Initially, she was hesitant about him and Gohan training to confront the Saiyans, but with some persuasive words and a night of connection, she came around. Soon after, she embraced their training, and they continued to strengthen their bond through cooking, cleaning, and spending quality time together. Goku made sure to include her in Gohan's progress, especially after Gohan matured under Piccolo's mentorship, which was essential for his independence. Reflecting on his life, Goku felt he was much better off now than during his previous existence. His thirst for conflict had diminished, he had become more discerning, although his love for food remained unchanged, and he cherished that aspect of himself. Food brought him joy, which is why he had been able to assist Chi-Chi in the kitchen. Over the years, he learned to cook and had even become quite skilled at it. He had also taken the time to read and expand his knowledge, taking pride in his personal growth. Additionally, during the past year, he had encountered Launch, who was in the midst of a bank robbery. With her blonde hair in full view, he took the initiative to learn about split personality disorders and ultimately helped her integrate her 2 identities. It took time and effort, but through a blend of key manipulation and imagination, he aided her in finding harmony within herself. While the journey had its challenges, it was ultimately rewarding. 9 months before. Chi-Chi will love what I'm preparing for her tonight. She's been working hard around the house, and I want to do something special for her, Goku said, looking to Piccolo for assistance. Piccolo, clearly unimpressed, walked alongside Goku, disdainful of the mundane errand. No, I don't want to help you pick out items. Why did you bring me here in the first place? Don't you have other Earthlings to bother? Piccolo retorted, glaring at Goku, who merely shrugged. I wanted some company. Besides, you were the only one available while I checked on Gohan's training. How is that going, by the way? Goku inquired as he selected various fruits. Pears, pineapples, and strawberries caught his eye. Piccolo smirked at the question. Not as dismal as before, he can hunt without complaining now. Goku smiled softly, appreciating Piccolo's growing camaraderie, evident in his subtle changes in demeanor. That's great progress. Can you grab the whipped cream over there for me? I'm still gathering fruit, Goku requested, placing a container of strawberries into the cart. Piccolo's expression shifted to disbelief. Who did Goku think he was, asking the mighty demon King Piccolo to retrieve whipped cream for a fruit salad? With a reluctant sigh, Piccolo made his way to the refrigeration section and retrieved a circular container of whipped cream. He held it in his green hands, shaking his head in disbelief. Grocery shopping with his former rival truly marked an unexpected turn in his life. He returned with the container and placed it in the cart, his displeasure evident. Goku beamed at him. Thanks, Piccolo. You've been a tremendous help. This one will work perfectly. Goku praised while pushing the cart to a different section. Piccolo grunted in response, not entirely comfortable with the compliment. They wandered through the aisles until they spotted a familiar figure. Hey, Raditz, did you find the chicken yet? Goku called out cheerfully. Raditz turned with a confident nod, holding packages of raw chicken. I did. Thighs and drumsticks are right here, he confirmed, although Piccolo felt a bead of sweat trickle down his forehead at the mention of it. Can you put it in the cart? I need to grab some flour, Goku instructed. Raditz complied, joining Goku and Piccolo as they continued down the aisles in search of ingredients. Throughout their shopping trip, they drew curious glances from other customers, a testament to their unusual appearance. One was a Saiyan with long, spiky black hair reaching his knees, another had even spikier hair and striking silver eyes, while the third stood at an impressive 7 feet 5 inches and was green. It was clear they made for an extraordinary trio. The trio entered one of the stalls as Goku led them through, eventually discovering a white bag filled with flour. He placed it into their cart with a satisfied grin, turning to his companions with an eager smile. Great, we have what we need. Let's head out. The rest of the ingredients are at home, so we'll just pay for this, and I can teleport us back. His friends nodded in agreement as they approached the cash register, which was mercifully devoid of a line. A middle-aged brunette behind the counter wore a disinterested expression, her demeanor indicating she was less than thrilled to be there. Hello. How can I assist you? She asked, her voice laced with fatigue as she turned to face them. We're here to purchase these, Goku replied as Piccolo and Raditz placed their items on the counter. The cashier scanned the products, sighing as she did so. That'll be 17 zeni, she announced in a slow, monotonous tone. Goku nodded, handing her a 20 zeni note. She accepted it and placed it in the register. You can keep the change, he said, earning a brief nod from the cashier as she handed him the receipt. Have a nice day, she said, barely masking her boredom as she turned to the next customer. Goku, shaking his head slightly, led his companions out of the store. Piccolo grunted in discontent. That human service was rather lackluster, don't you think? Goku rubbed the bridge of his nose in exasperation. She must have had a long day. I doubt she meant any offense, Goku replied, though Piccolo merely scoffed, turning away. Raditz remained silent but shared Piccolo's sentiments. He knew that if someone had treated Vegeta or Nappa with such indifference, they would likely have faced dire consequences. The cashier was fortunate that it was Goku who had come to their aid. As they stood outside the store, Goku began to unload the groceries from the cart, his mood still buoyant. Time to head home. Grab onto me, he instructed. Both companions complied just as 8 police cars screeched to a halt in front of a nearby bank. Officers exited their vehicles, swiftly taking cover behind any available barrier. Release the hostages, and no one will be harmed. Come out of the bank with your hands behind your head. An officer shouted through a speaker. Instead of compliance, the officers were met with a hail of gunfire. Take cover. The police dove behind their cars, trying to shield themselves from the barrage. We can't do anything against that kind of firepower. Where's the SWAT team? Another officer shouted as bullets continued to rain down. Seeing the chaos unfold, Goku dropped the groceries back into the shopping cart. He glanced at his companions, concern etched on his face. Wait here. I'll be back soon. They nodded, still awestruck by his speed as Goku vanished in an instant. In the blink of an eye, Goku was inside the bank, time seemingly slowing down around him. He had enough time to assess the scene and intercept bullets to protect the officers. While this all occurred in mere seconds to the human eye, it felt like several precious minutes to Goku. Navigating the bank, he incapacitated the robbers with swift strikes to the back of their necks, while simultaneously rescuing hostages by swiftly carrying them out. The terrified individuals were unaware of the whirlwind events, but they were safe nonetheless. Just as he was about to subdue the final robber, a familiar face caught his eye, a woman with creamy skin and a head of blonde hair. "Launch?" he exclaimed, astonished. Launch, in turn, was taken aback by his sudden appearance. The gunfire ceased, and the chaos around her seemed to dissolve. "Goku, what are you doing here?" she cried out, her voice a mixture of surprise and irritation. "Launch, why are you robbing a bank?" they both shouted simultaneously, pointing at each other accusatorily. With a frustrated sigh, Launch placed her hands on her hips. "Well, I was in the middle of a bank heist until you showed up and took out my crew. Of all people, it had to be you." Goku's jaw dropped in disbelief. He had no idea Launch was involved in such activities. Her absence over the years suddenly made more sense. "I was just grocery shopping when all this chaos started. I wanted to do something nice for Chi-Chi today." A headache began to form as he rubbed his temples. Launch, however, was now faced with a dilemma. With the police surrounding her and her crew incapacitated, she needed a plan. "Okay, since this is your fault, Goku, I'll need you to help me escape." "What? You're the one who decided to rob a bank. You probably would have gotten away with it too if I hadn't shown up." Goku protested. He noticed a change in Launch. She seemed different, more mature than before. "Come on, Goku. Just help me out of here, and I promise I won't do anything like this again." Goku sighed, realizing that this day was only getting more complicated. He just wanted a peaceful outing with his brother and Piccolo. But now he was entangled in this situation. Reluctantly, he relented. "Fine. How do you want to escape?" Launch furrowed her brow in thought, surprised that the police hadn't stormed in yet. "Okay, here's the plan." Without warning, she leapt into Goku's arms, wrapping her arms around his neck. His reflexes kicked in, and he caught her in a bridle hold. "We'll step outside and pretend you rescued me from the robbers. I'll act like I was knocked out. You'll need to handle the talking." Goku raised an eyebrow, recognizing her cleverness. With a resigned sigh, he agreed. As they exited the bank, police officers turned their attention to Goku, relief flooding their faces. "Sir, are you all right? What happened to the woman in your arms?" an officer inquired, his voice amplified for others to hear. "She was knocked out by one of the robbers. I was inside when it happened. As a martial artist, I took the opportunity to neutralize the criminals before they realized what was happening. The other hostages escaped while I distracted them. This woman is a close friend, and I'm taking her home to help her recover." Launch couldn't help but smirk at Goku's response. He had displayed an unexpected cunning. Had their circumstances been different, she might have believed him wholeheartedly. The officers exchanged bewildered looks, trying to process the information. "Impressive work, son. What's your name?" "We need to acknowledge the hero who thwarted these criminals," the officer said, approaching Goku. "I'd rather not say," Goku replied with a smile, shaking his head. "I'm not one for the spotlight. Besides, my family wouldn't appreciate the attention. I'm sure you can come up with something suitable." He walked over to Raditz and Piccolo, who were observing him with raised eyebrows. "What happened, Kakarot?" Raditz asked, eyeing Launch curiously. Piccolo, arms folded, added, "I too would like to know the cause of the commotion." Launch, now aware of their scrutiny, glared at Goku. "You have some explaining to do. And it better be quick, or I'll take him out," she warned, gesturing towards Piccolo. Goku, seeing the tension, teleported everyone to his home. As they arrived at the Sun residence, Launch suddenly produced a missile launcher from seemingly nowhere, aiming it at Piccolo. The Green Warrior merely scoffed, undeterred. "While I find you insufferable, Launch, we need Piccolo's assistance against larger threats. We can't succeed without him," Goku reasoned. Launch's expression softened slightly, but she still stood her ground. "Fine. I'll cooperate, but don't expect me to engage in any friendly banter with him," she retorted. "As if a weakling like you is deserving of any of my past," Piccolo shot back, eliciting a dangerous response from Launch as she stepped toward him. Goku placed a hand on her shoulder, successfully calming her for the moment. "Trust me, Launch. This will benefit us all, despite how it may seem," Goku assured her. With a huff, she reluctantly lowered her weapon, crossing her arms. "Only because it's you, Goku. Otherwise, he'd be a pile of ashes right now," she grumbled. Goku chuckled before a thought struck him. "Wait, Launch. Can I try something real quick? It's been bothering me," he said, prompting her to raise an eyebrow. "What are you planning? It's not anything inappropriate, is it?" Goku shook his head, placing a calm hand on her head. "It's not harmful. In fact, it might help you. I know that when you sneeze, you switch personalities. I want to use my ki to merge those personalities. Launch's jaw dropped at his proposal. Goku's unexpected transformation of knowledge. When did Goku become so astute? That revelation was unexpected. However, it seemed this newfound understanding could assist her. After all, she didn't want to remain vulnerable in one aspect of her life, nor did she wish to resort to violence. Thus, merging their strengths appeared to be a prudent course of action. Launch nodded in agreement, granting him the go-ahead. Goku offered a gentle smile as a green glow emanated from his palm, the energy seamlessly integrating into her mind. That was when the transformation commenced. Launch began to undergo a remarkable physical change. Her hair shifted to a striking blue with blonde streaks, and her eyes radiated a captivating, yet fierce teal glow. The stunning effect was such that both Raditz and Piccolo found themselves stealing a second glance. Goku observed the transformation with a glint of satisfaction in his eyes. So, how do you feel, Launch? Speak up, he encouraged. Launch nodded slowly, her expression one of surprise. I must admit, Goku, you've done impressive work. I feel as if a heavy burden has been lifted. Now I can truly assert myself without worrying about the consequences of my sneezes, she declared, her voice high-pitched yet intense, reflecting her newfound empowerment. Goku's smile broadened. The experiment had yielded positive results. He had anticipated a 50-50 chance of success, but it had worked out, allowing Launch to break free from her previous constraints. All right, I'll take you to Master Roshi's while we prepare for this new threat, Goku said. Launch smirked and leapt into his arms, raising his eyebrows in curiosity. Just so you know, if he lays a hand on me, I'll make sure he learns a lesson, she threatened. Goku chuckled as he prepared to teleport, then turned to his companions. Hey, could you guys bring in the groceries? Chi-Chi isn't home, she's visiting her father. I'll be back to help with dinner. Raditz nodded and grabbed a bag, while Piccolo sighed and took the other. He still couldn't fathom helping his rival prepare a meal for his human wife. Meanwhile, Raditz raised his eyebrows, realizing that grocery shopping with his brother wasn't half bad, it was actually kind of enjoyable. Present day. Goku hoisted the large bag of groceries over his shoulder, eliciting an inquisitive glance from Raditz. What's in the bag, Kakarot? Goku chuckled sheepishly, placing 2 fingers to his forehead. My wife prepared food for everyone. She wants us to be well fed before confronting the Scions. Raditz nodded, grasping Goku's shoulders as he focused on locating his friend's key signatures. A few months earlier, Goku had instructed the Z warriors to meet at a designated location for their upcoming battle with the Scions, ensuring that civilians remained safe. Aware that Vegeta and Nappa could not sense ki, they would rely on their scouters to identify the highest battle powers and make their approach. Thus, the stage was set for the confrontation. Upon teleporting, Goku was greeted by Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, Piccolo, and Gohan. It was reassuring to see that they all seemed significantly stronger than in the previous timeline. The ki-absorbing weights he had provided had worked wonders. This made for 5 warriors, plus himself and Raditz. However, he noted the absence of Krillin. Confusion washed over Goku as he approached them. Hey guys. Where's Krillin? Tien frowned, arms crossed. He had other commitments and won't be joining us this time. He's on a journey of enlightenment. The news dampened the atmosphere considerably. Yamcha attempted to lighten the mood with a cheery laugh. Come on, we can handle this. Wherever Krillin is, I'm sure it's for a good reason. It's not like him to miss out on something important without justification. Everyone nodded in agreement, while Gohan beamed at the opportunity to fight alongside his father. Piccolo nudged Gohan, urging him to move closer. Well, here's your underwhelming offspring. He may be inexperienced, but he won't embarrass us against the Scions. Go ahead, runt, Piccolo ordered, eliciting a giggle from Gohan. Dad. It's wonderful to see you again. It's been a few months, but I promise to impress you in this fight. Goku smiled down at Gohan, filled with pride. I believe in you, buddy. Just by standing here, you make me prouder by the moment. Together, we'll show these Scions what we're capable of, Goku assured him, then turned to Piccolo. At least you've been training. You seem considerably stronger. But will it be enough? Piccolo responded with a laugh. It won't even break a sweat. Goku pulled out the bags of food, attracting Yamcha's attention. What do you have there, Goku? It's food, my wife's special meatloaf. She wanted us to be prepared, at least in terms of sustenance, for the Scions, Goku explained as he distributed lunch bags to everyone. Each bag contained water and a plastic plate with meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Piccolo attempted to decline, but Goku insisted, causing the Namekian to grunt in displeasure. They ate and shared updates about their lives. Yeah, Bulma's been distant lately. I have no idea why, it feels like she's losing interest, Yamcha admitted. Goku found this amusing. It seemed rather early for Bulma to fall out of love with him. Sorry to hear that. But I'm sure someone would be fortunate to have you. Perhaps even more than she does, Tien chimed in, provoking laughter from Goku as he nearly choked on his food. PFFT. Humans are so fragile. Just not reciprocating one's affection is enough to weaken even the mightiest warrior. Pathetic, Piccolo grunted, shoving another piece of meatloaf into his mouth. I wonder if an Earthling would be interested in a handsome Saiyan man, perhaps? Raditz mused, savoring his mashed potatoes. Goku erupted into laughter at the absurdity of the moment. His former rivals and enemies were discussing love and romance. He had altered the timeline more profoundly than he realized. If only Krillin were present, he would have appreciated the humor in this situation. As Goku continued to search for Krillin's ki, sending pulses of energy to locate him, concern crept in. No matter how skilled Krillin or anyone else was at concealing their ki, it should never have been so difficult for Goku, with his exceptional sensitivity, to detect him. The worry lingered in his mind. 3 hours later, a sudden tension enveloped the group as they sensed the arrival of the Scions. Do you feel that power? It's them, Tien remarked, his brow furrowed. Humph, stronger than I anticipated. We could likely handle the weaker one, but the one with the greatest power? That's a job for Goku, as much as I hate to admit it, Piccolo said, with everyone nodding in agreement. While Goku's weights had improved their abilities, they still couldn't match Vegeta yet. Wait. They're approaching us quickly. Yamcha warned, and the group readied themselves as two figures landed before them. The first was tall, muscular, and imposing, with a bald head and a large mustache that forked at the ends. He wore yellow and black armor, complemented by a blue scouter over his left eye. His tail wrapped around his midsection, resembling a belt. The second figure, shorter in stature yet undeniably formidable, sported spiky hair and a prominent widow's peak. Clad in yellow and white armor, with matching gloves and boots, he also had a red scouter over his left eye, and like Nappa, his tail was secured around his torso. Nappa turned to Vegeta with a chuckle. Well, look at that, Vegeta. All of them are gathered here. Yes, Nappa, they are. It seems they were awaiting us, as if gift-trapped, Vegeta replied, his gaze locking onto Goku and Raditz. Humph, you both are pitiful. Raditz, look at you, conforming to this low-class lifestyle. Even your attire reflects that, Vegeta spat, scrutinizing Raditz's turtle hermit gi, which was brown with red accents. You wouldn't understand, Vegeta. This life offers more benefits than being Frieza's slave. This is your final opportunity to join us, Raditz countered, stepping forward alongside Goku. Vegeta chuckled mockingly. You may choose your path, but you won't maintain that attitude for long. Soon, you'll be on the ground, begging for mercy like the pathetic trash you are. Nappa and Vegeta exchanged glances, laughter escaping their lips. Look at him, Vegeta. Kakarot's hair makes him look like he just rolled out of bed. What kind of product do you use? Nappa guffawed, while Vegeta added, it appears Earthlings have influenced you more than we realized, right down to that ridiculous hairstyle. Which salon did you visit, Kakarot? Such a disgrace. And you don't even have tails. Oh, what a treat, Nappa bellowed. Indeed, Nappa, that sounds like a wonderful idea. While the two Scions joked with each other, Goku stood confidently, a friendly smirk on his face. I'm afraid you both won't be able to achieve that right now. Even on my worst day, you wouldn't be able to lay a finger on me. I've reached a level of strength that you can't even imagine, Goku declared, causing the two to raise their eyebrows in curiosity. Nappa, intrigued, activated his scouter to check Goku's energy but was met with confusion. Huh? That's strange. It's like his power level isn't showing up at all, Vegeta, Nappa said, scratching his head. Vegeta chuckled softly. Well, look at that. They must have learned how to hide their power levels. That's a clever trick. But take off that scouter, Nappa, it won't help in this fight. Still, it's interesting. Even if Kakarot is hiding his energy, it shouldn't show as zero. This could be more exciting than I thought. Nappa, let's bring out the Cyberman, Vegeta commanded. Nappa nodded, retrieving a cylinder filled with green seeds and a bottle of green liquid. This should be fun. It looks like we have 30 of these Cybermen, Vegeta. The soil looks fresh, So they should be pretty strong. Vegeta smirked, turning to the Z fighters. This is your last chance to survive. Tell us where the Dragon Balls are, and we'll let you go, even you, Namekian, Vegeta said, looking at Piccolo, who widened his eyes in surprise. Oh yeah, he does look like he's from planet Namek. I wonder what a Namekian is doing here, Nappa mused as he planted the seeds in the ground and poured the green liquid over them. Meanwhile, Piccolo was still processing the unexpected revelation. He was from a planet called Namek? There were more like him? How could he not have known before? It was strange, but he had to focus on the present. Get ready, everyone. Things are about to get interesting. Yamcha warned as the ground shook and 30 small green creatures emerged. The Cybermen squirmed about, making strange noises as if they were thirsty. Stay still, or you won't like what happens next, Vegeta warned, calming the jittery Cybermen. He turned to the Z fighters with a grin. So, what will it be? Will you share what we want, or will you face us? The choice is yours, but I promise, it won't be easy. No one is losing today. We're going to defeat you until you can't stand, and then you'll learn what it means to face someone you thought was weaker, Goku said, stepping forward as Raditz joined him. Nappa raised an eyebrow while Vegeta laughed heartily. Oh, this is going to be fun. A Saiyan versus Saiyan battle. Now, Cybermen, go and create some chaos. Vegeta ordered, and the Cybermen charged forward. Everyone quickly jumped back as Piccolo shouted, spread out. Each of us should take on 6 of them. The Z fighters nodded, drawing the Cybermen towards their positions. First one to eliminate their share is the winner. Are you all ready? Yamcha shouted, throwing a punch at a Cyberman and sending it flying with a Kamehameha blast. Yamcha grinned, ready to move on to the next Cyberman when another one snuck up behind him. He quickly turned and used a ki blast to defeat it, laughing as he sought out his next opponent. You really know how to make this exciting, my old friend. I'm in, Tien shouted as he swiftly defeated one Cyberman and moved on to the next. Chaozu kept a cheerful smile as he used his telekinetic powers to create rock spikes, defeating a Cyberman effortlessly. This sounds like a blast, Gohan exclaimed as he slammed a Cyberman into the ground and finished it with a ki blast. He quickly kicked another Cyberman that tried to sneak up on him, moving on to the next one. Meanwhile, Piccolo, overhearing the excitement, couldn't help but smirk. He had one Cyberman in his grip, squeezing it gently. With a mischievous grin, he focused his energy, creating 2 beams from his eyes, startling the Cyberman. Once it was defeated, Piccolo laughed and tossed it aside. I'll do my best to win this contest, Piccolo declared as he rejoined the battle. Meanwhile, the Scions watched with interest as the Z fighters handled the Cybermen with ease. It seems we might have underestimated them, Vegeta, Nappa said, slightly impressed. Well, it wouldn't be as entertaining if they were weak. But we have other matters to address, like the 2 in front of us, Vegeta said, eyeing Goku and Raditz. How about we stop talking and start fighting? Or are you both too scared? Raditz teased, making Nappa laugh. Scared of you? I've seen dirt with more strength than the 2 of you combined, Nappa declared, taking a fighting stance. Raditz mirrored him, glancing at Goku. Kakarot, I'll take care of this one. You handle Vegeta, all right? Goku nodded, and Nappa smirked. Let's get on with it. I want to finish this quickly. Just then, the duo vanished, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing each other, sizing one another up. You know, you could join us. Together, we could unite the Scions and work against Frieza. Even if you're not as strong, you're still a Saiyan, Vegeta suggested with a grin. Goku simply chuckled in response. Vegeta, you have no idea what I'm capable of. You won't be able to catch me, Goku said confidently, causing Vegeta to raise an eyebrow. Oh really? Then let's find out. With their banter concluded, both Scions disappeared from sight. With Raditz. Nappa chuckled as he threw punches at Raditz, who skillfully blocked each one. You know, for a lower-level fighter, you're not bad, Nappa teased, trying to land a kick that barely missed. Raditz grinned, dodging Nappa's powerful strikes. He knew he had the advantage, and Nappa didn't even realize it. I think it's time I showed my true strength, Raditz said as he suddenly appeared behind Nappa, grabbing his tail. Nappa yelped in surprise, and in a swift motion, Raditz kicked Nappa into the grass. Nappa growled and got back up, looking for Raditz. Where are you, you little? Before he could finish, Raditz appeared again, delivering a light punch that knocked the wind out of him. Raditz continued to playfully dodge and counter Nappa's attacks, enjoying the friendly competition. Raditz shook his head, a look of disbelief on his face. Is this really how the elite general of the Saiyan army acts? I should have confronted this long ago. He closed his eyes for a moment, taking it all in. Meanwhile, Nappa took a deep breath, quickly standing up before Raditz could react. He picked up Raditz in a friendly hug and powered up, his aura glowing bright yellow and flickering like a strobe light. If I can't defeat you, then I'll make sure you can't defeat me either. I won't lose to someone I consider weak, Nappa declared, gathering energy. Raditz shook his head again, using a finger to gently blast Nappa in the leg. Nappa fell to one knee, holding his leg in surprise. Raditz then playfully tapped Nappa on the head, pushing him gently into the ground, creating an imprint. Nappa looked up, slightly dazed, as he saw Raditz looking down at him. You might be wondering how I became so strong in just a year. How someone like me could stand up to you, a general. The answer is simple: I trained really hard. I pushed myself while Kakarot helped me with a tough training plan. He's very determined and knows how to help people reach their potential. He's a natural, even if he was just a beginner when he started. No one in this universe can beat him, and that's impressive. You say we're weak, but here I'm standing tall while you're on the ground. You could join us too if you and Vegeta wanted to. Think about it once you wake up. Nappa's eyes widened in surprise at this idea. What do you mean by that? He started to say, but Raditz quickly tapped Nappa gently on the back of the neck, making him drowsy. Raditz took a moment to think about what he had accomplished. He had defeated Nappa, an elite general of the Saiyan army. It was hard to believe. Yet here Nappa was, resting on the ground. Raditz turned to Kakarot and smiled, noticing that he and Vegeta were still sparring. He saw that their friends had handled the Cybermen without any issues. Today was a good day for them, but what would happen in the future? Earlier with Goku. As Goku dodged Vegeta's first punch, he felt a wave of nostalgia. The Saiyan Prince wasn't going all out yet, but Goku was eager to see his full strength soon. Vegeta took the lead, throwing a series of punches and kicks. Goku admired Vegeta's skill. Even though he wasn't as strong as he could be, Goku was impressed with how good he was right now. Vegeta smirked as he saw Goku dodge with ease. I see you can handle me at just a fraction of my power. I didn't expect that from someone like you. Maybe I'll need to step up my game after all, he said, raising his power level to half. Goku simply caught the punches directed at him. Let's get on with it. We both have things to do, right? Goku suggested, which made Vegeta chuckle. After this, you might have to change your plans. You won't be around for whatever you have in store, Kakarot, Vegeta teased. Goku responded with a confident smile. You might be right about one thing. I'll need to adjust my schedule. I plan to finish this sooner than I thought, Goku exclaimed, landing a few quick strikes that made Vegeta grunt. Vegeta stumbled back against a boulder but quickly recovered, chuckling as he stepped out of the impact. Now it's time for me to show my true power. You'll see why I'm called the Saiyan Prince. With a powerful shout, he began to unleash his full energy, a purple aura surrounding him as it grew more intense. Goku watched calmly, unimpressed by the display. Don't look too worried. I haven't even begun yet, Vegeta laughed, disappearing and reappearing behind Goku. He aimed a punch at Goku's lower back, but Goku skillfully flipped away, delivering a kick to Vegeta's head. Vegeta stumbled forward but regained his balance. Goku used the opportunity to throw an uppercut that sent Vegeta soaring into the air. Goku followed up with a knee strike to Vegeta's midsection, causing the prince to gasp. As they continued to fight, Goku performed a series of flips and landed a powerful strike, sending Vegeta back toward the ground. Vegeta managed to land safely but was clearly out of breath, realizing he had underestimated his opponent. This can't be happening. I am a Saiyan elite. You should be below me. How can you be this strong? I demand to know, Vegeta exclaimed, but before he could finish, Goku gently struck his lower back, causing Vegeta to arch forward. Goku quickly took advantage of the moment, disarming Vegeta in a playful manner. Instead of taking it too far, Goku stopped, placing his foot lightly on Vegeta's chest to hold him down gently. Here's something interesting: it doesn't matter where you come from or what you think your future holds. What matters is what you choose to do with it. You can become something special, a legend in your own right. But you're living in despair, feeling trapped by choices you didn't make. Remember, everyone has choices. You call yourself a prince? A Saiyan? If you truly were either, you would stand up against Frieza and fight for what you believe in. Instead, you've let him control you. You don't have to stay in that role, Vegeta. I can help you and Nappa become strong enough to face Frieza. I can teach you how to harness your power like I have. All you need to do is choose to stand with us. Then you can unlock your true potential and find your own path, Goku said, extending a hand toward Vegeta, who struggled but remained defiant. Get your foot off me. What makes you think I would ever consider joining you? I am a Saiyan prince. Vegeta protested, glaring back at Goku. Goku sighed and stepped back, allowing Vegeta some space. As he did, their friends gathered around, having completed their own battles. Raditz brought the now resting Nappa closer to Vegeta, who looked surprised when Nappa stirred awake. What happened? Nappa said, blinking in confusion. He quickly noticed the others around them and realized they were in a tough spot. What do we do now, Vegeta? Nappa asked, looking to his ally for guidance. Vegeta simply shook his head. We listen. He glared at Goku, who continued, I'm offering you both a chance. You can join us and train hard to become strong enough to face Frieza. Face Frieza? Are you serious? Even if you beat us, there's no way someone like you can. Nappa, please be quiet. Your behavior is not fitting for someone in your position, and you know it. So, let's listen to Goku, Vegeta exclaimed, his voice firm and commanding, which caused Nappa to grumble in annoyance. The group exchanged surprised glances before focusing on Goku. Right. As I was saying, you both can train with me, and I can help you unlock your true potential, Goku stated, noticing Nappa's skepticism. I guess words won't convince you, so I'll show you instead, Goku continued, and everyone leaned in, curious about what he meant. Was there something remarkable he was about to reveal? I have a feeling that 3 of you are in for a big surprise when I show you something special. More than my friends here, anyway, Goku said, his energy starting to rise dramatically. The group watched in awe as Goku's power surged to incredible levels. The ground trembled beneath them as his transformation took place. His hair stood on end, and his eyes shone with a brilliant hue. A golden glow enveloped him as he completed his transformation. With spiky blonde hair and teal eyes, Goku chuckled. It's been a while since I did this. Everyone, please welcome the first Super Saiyan in 1,000 generations. His voice was slightly deeper, and the sheer magnitude of his power was astonishing. The group was overwhelmed, sensing a strength they had never experienced before. They were left with countless questions. Where did this power come from? Why was he revealing it now? Piccolo's eyes widened, and he chuckled softly, knowing that his longtime rival would always have something extraordinary up his sleeve. Gohan's eyes sparkled with hope. His father was the strongest in the world, and he dreamed of achieving that strength one day. Tien stood still, smiling at the revelation, impressed that his friend had once again surpassed limits. Yamcha cheered enthusiastically, clearly thrilled by Goku's transformation. Chaozu simply mouthed a wow, while beaming with joy. Meanwhile, Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta were stunned, their mouths agape in disbelief. Kakarot. This can't be. You're a Super Saiyan. How did you? Raditz stammered, struggling to comprehend Goku's astonishing power. Nappa was speechless, having never witnessed anything like it before. Vegeta felt a mix of shock and anger. He clenched his fists, realizing that a lower-class warrior had achieved a status he believed was meant for him alone. He was determined to learn how to attain that form, no matter what it took. So, what do you think? Now that you've seen what I can do, I know I can teach you to reach this level too. Are you in? Goku asked. Nappa nodded, and Vegeta grudgingly agreed with a grunt. Goku smiled and reverted to his base form, placing his hands on their shoulders. A vibrant blue light surrounded his hands as he healed them. Once he finished, the 2 Saiyans examined their bodies in surprise before standing in silence, processing what had just happened. All right, Kakarot, we're in. What's next? Vegeta asked with a frown. Goku clapped his hands together. That's an easy question. We train. The expressions on everyone's faces at that moment were priceless, filled with a mix of excitement and determination. Hey everyone, that wraps it up for now. If you liked what you saw, I'd be thrilled if you could hit that subscribe button for my channel. Thank you immensely. I genuinely appreciate your support. Warmest regards. Cactus.